Sir, after you have made these reports public, when can we expect the high-level delegation to leave for China?
I will have to confer with the DFA. They will be in touch with the Chinese embassy.
The next question is from Willard Cheng of ABS-CBN.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Willard?
Sir, paano po nyo tutugunan yung sentimiento kundi man discontent ng mga IIRC members and the chair herself dahil hindi po nasunod lahat ng mga rekomendasyon nila?
Can we wait for their official comments? Because I talked to all of them and they did not tell me that they were displeased with the direction that the review was taking.
Sir, now that you have talked to Secretaries Robredo and Puno, will they stay on in their posts as DILG
Yes.
secretaries and undersecretaries?
Yes. Subject to changes. Subject to changes in the way that they've been conducting in the last few weeks the operations of the department.
May time frame ho ba, sir, o na titingnan po natin?
I think I really made it very clear to them that I was at my wit's end with things that happened that shouldn't have happened, with instructions that were not followed to the fullest extent. I think the people who were present at last night's meeting understood completely and exactly my sense of exasperation, if I can use that phrase, and that this was the last chance.
Thank you, sir.
Rose Miranda of Abante.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Sa part po ng review, saang part po kayo nahirapan either na i-retain o baguhin? At meron ho ba kayong natanggap na pressures o apela maging ang review team sa ilang respondents?
Kasi alam nyo, nung una natin binasa yan, binigyan ako ng advance copy. So I proceeded to read it ahead of time. I proceeded before they arrived, mga 45 pages of the 83-page report. After reading the 45 pages, the first thing that they told me was, sir, may mga revisions. So I had to go back to page 1 para pare-pare yung tinatalakay namin, di ba? Saan ba ako nahirapan? May general admonition for several people, possible criminal and administrative cases. Di ba? Hindi naman po ako abogado. Ano ba ang specific laws na na-violate? Ano ba ang chance sa mag-prosper? Ano yung evidence ang tangan natin? Sino ang pwedeng kasuhan ng ano? Okay. So, medyo mahirap rin pag binigla kang, di ba, narinig natin parati yung homicide through reckless imprudence. Bigla palang may gross imprudence. Meron palang may simple imprudence. Yung simple, merong ibang provision dyan na dinefine na revised penal code pero hindi naman nilagay na may sanctions, may penalties. So, bigla tayo nag-crash course sa pag-aabogado sa mga cases ay mga laws na na-violate. Yun, syempre, hindi madali yun. Pero, in general, I think most of us agreed on a consensus that this is the way that it has to be done based on the pertinent laws, rules, and regulations that are operative in our country right now.
Clarification lang, Mr. President. Paliban ho kay Yusek po na wala rin ng liability si Vice Mayor Isko Moreno.
Hindi klaro kung naalala mo doon sa report kung dinesignate siyang Vice Chairman of the Crisis Management Committee. Yung manual, to be honest with you, I think there are a lot of LGUs that are not aware that such a manual even exists. Pero yung actions kanya will flow, or yung kulang niya will flow from being designated as Vice Chair and being given specific duties by the Chair of the Crisis Management Committee. So walang showing, that's a legal phrase, there is no showing that he did actually become the Vice Chair of the committee. So yung mga dapat ginawa, hindi nagawa, will flow from the designation. It didn't happen. So how do we say that you didn't do the following functions? Yung in the same case with Yebra, he is with the legal department of the Manila Police District. He was never designated chief negotiator or even negotiator. No? So pati doon, matetemper rin eh. Yung ano ba talagang pwedeng masabing kulang niya dahil hindi pa nga sa kanya yung pwesto kung tutuusin. However, if I can highlight, the SWAT commander, yung in Yebra's case, he should have emphasized to the decision makers that, sir, there has been a change in the disposition of the hostage taker. Sir, it's time to stand to the tactical team. Sir, there is that. Kung idiniin niya yun ang sinisabi naming pagkukulang niya. Di ba? Yung SWAT commander naman, di ba, ano ba mga basics doon? Tinanong mo yung may-ari ng bus o kung sino, tinanong mo yung nagtanong sa may-ari ng bus kung saan ang mga switches dito para buksan yung pintuan, ano bang materyales nitong bus na to, yung salamin, yung kaha, etc. biglang pupunta kayo magtibay at sasabihin kaya namin. Yung para bang, pwede bang haka-haka as opposed to professional, inalam. Yun ang issue namin doon sa pagkukulang niya. At yun ang dapat niyang panagutan. Yung impormasyon na binigay sa decision maker, faulty. Yung decision maker ngayon, parang computer, garbage in at garbage out. Nagdesisyon ng palpak. Damay-damay sila doon. At ang punto, gusto natin maidiin yung mensahe na meron kayong mga responsibilidad, meron kayong mga kakayahan, dapat nagsasabi kayo ng totoo at sinasabi nyo sa tamang oras para hindi pa marisa ng iba na para bang hindi siniseryoso ang kanilang mga obligasyon.
Thank you, sir.
Christine Avendaño, Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Uy.
Hi, sir. Sir, clarify lang, yung the admonishment that Yusek Puno got is not related to the Palace Review, sir, no? It's parang a separate issue, yung squabbling between...
Well, yung squabbling, yung...
pero it's not related to the Palace Review.
Yung sa... In fairness to Undersecretary Puno, yung number one, let's look at ano, no? Is it expected that Undersecretary Puno would have assumed the function of the Secretary of Local Government as far as yung convening the National Crisis Committee was concerned? Don't forget that the manual presently does not contain a provision saying at this point it should be elevated to. Who is supposed to say or to recommend that it should be transferred from the local to the national? Walang clarity yan. So even if Secretary Robredo, for instance, decided to convene it, hindi ganun kasiguradong within the authorized activities under the crisis manual. Now, Undersecretary Puno would even have less of a right. So he was never trained as a hostage negotiator. There is no provision that says that you can designate him as the local crisis management chair. So all of the things that I tasked him to do, amongst them, ano ba nangyayari dyan? Kakanap mo ako ng liaison that can brief me talaga constantly as to what is developing. That was done. Yung point na dapat sinigurado niyang nag-comply lahat ng mga nautusan. On 3 occasions, the official liaison, said that the instructions were already complied with. There was no showing that he was told that the subordinate officers were not following it and did not act upon it. So, ano ba pwede natin ikaso sa kanya on that particular day? Siguro conversely, and I think everybody will agree, if it was resolved successfully, lahat ito mga kinakastigo siguro para puro inabot. Pero siguro nga, mali sa atin kung nakita natin may ganito resulta, hindi natin in-address yung mga pagkukulang ng sistema, ng kagamitan, ng pagsasanay, ng lahat na nasangkot dito. Kasama na rin po yung mga LGU. No? Ano ba ang responsibilidad nila? Ano ba ang tasking nila? At inaasahan natin, makokorek lahat at kinokorek na sa kasalukuyan para naman pag merong pagsubok na dadaanan tayo ulit, hindi na po ganito kasama ang naging resulta.
So, sir, parang, what was the recommendation ba of the IRC? Yung parang recommended charges against Yusek Puno?
In fact, I don't have the copy of the report here, but what I do remember from my reading of it was one of the issues was he failed to ensure that my instructions were carried out by the subordinate officers.
But you said he did what you ordered him to do that day, di ba?
Christine, tinan mo yung situation, no? If he went there higher than Magtibay, then Mendoza conceivably could have said, I want to talk to him and issue my demands to him. Baka lampas na do sa judgment by the ombudsman. Baka, di ba? Hindi na natin alam kung anong pwede pa niyang hingin. So, Puno, like everybody else senior to Magtibay, was told not to be present so that the demands could be kept to that level, which was already difficult. That's number one. Number two, he goes in there, and if you read the crisis manual what exactly is he empowered to do? And even if it was the Secretary of Local Government, Secretary of Local Government only intervenes in the National Crisis Management Committee. The manual naman is silent on when it can be activated and who is supposed to activate it. So I go back, he goes there, what exactly is he supposed to do? Or for that matter, if the Secretary of Local Government was there, how can he suddenly say, unless For instance, he was observing and he felt that the LGU was not performing properly or the ground commander was not acting accordingly, then he would have advised me and perhaps I would have ordered the National Crisis Management Committee set up already or activated. But in that particular case nga, no, he could not act on his own initiative because the empowering provisions are not there in the manual that unfortunately I think has very limited distribution.
Sir, last two questions na lang. So, except for SPO2 Mendoza, all are administrative charges, di ba? Parang the eight,
Tama, no? I think that's correct.
all the eight are administrative, including Mayor Lim. And and no sanctions against Mr. Rogas and Mr. Tulfo?
Well, we are hoping, no, as far as Mr. Rogas and Mr. Tufo are concerned, that they're the company that they belong to, number one. And beyond that, the KBP and other watchdogs will take the cudgels of demonstrating the resolve to act with more responsibility. Yung administrative, let me again emphasize, no? Susubukan ko ipaliwanag yung pagkapaliwanag sa akin. Reckless imprudence, uminom ako, nalasing ako, may nabundol ako. Yung action ko ng pag-inom, nag-result na may namatay na nabundol ko, direct, di ba? Tawag nila doon proximate cause. Okay. Sinong bumaril doon sa mga hostages? Lahat ng data natin sinasabi, si Captain Mendoza. No. So, yung pagkamatay directly attributable kay Captain Mendoza. Pwede ba natin kasuhan si Magtibay ng reckless imprudence? Ang pananaw ng lahat ng abogadong kinonsulta namin, no, hindi yung kakulangan ni Magtibay, yung kulang ng mga direktiba, for instance, yung kulang ng pagtitingin doon sa capability ng kanilang SWAT, etc., hindi yun ang diretsuhang dahilan kung bakit patay lahat ito mga hostages. Wala raw doon yung proximate cause. Pa-file mo sa korte, garantisado matatalo. At i-review nga lahat ng possible na criminal at lumalabas. Kung meron mang i-charge, napakanipis, yung preba magpapatunay nun, lalong mas manipis, inaksaya lang natin ang oras ng lahat ng mga departamento at saka sakay ng gobyerno na dapat parang dito makakasong to. Naiwan tayo sa administrative. Yung administrative naman, one of the penalties for Magtibay, if he is found guilty of all of this, forfeiture, separation from service, forfeiture of all pay and benefits. Medyo malaking dagok doon sa taong yun na almost at the end of his career. But the message has to be sent. You accept the responsibility. You also, di ba, when you accept the perks and privileges of the office, the duties and responsibilities are equally accepted by you. And you are responsible for your failure to carry it out or if you exceed it. Thank you.
Evelyn Quiroz of Balita.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, in case those indicted is not satisfied with the review of the Palace legal team, kanino sila pwede mag-MR o mag-appeal?
Well, doon sa body itself, no? Ngayon body, they'll be given the processes of law. There will be administrative proceedings, I guess is the technical term. Sa korte kasi preliminary investigation mula sa piskal. Then they go through, all the rights will be respected, no? Yung rights to counsel, for instance, will be first and paramount. Then at the end of the process, there is a decision. Then they can go through the various agencies of the state, including the courts, if they feel that there was injustice done to them.